So I think most of us as golfers, me included, feel or want to feel with driver that we can stand up, aim at the middle of the fairway, put a good swing on it, and just hit one nice and accurately down the middle of the fairway and a good distance. But all too often that isn't the case, is it? We hit big slices, hooks, tops, skied shots, and it really can be a minefield with driver trying to understand, first of all, what you're doing wrong, and second of all, what you need to do to fix it. Now, because there's a huge amount of information out there about golf swing and driver, golfers are very aware nowadays that if you want to hit a straight shot, which is the most difficult shot in golf, we need to hit the middle of the club face. The club face needs to be pointing at the target, and the path needs to be nice and straight to that. But the little challenge is, if you're off center, the curve on the face of the driver can create shape, and it's incredibly hard to control face and path. But you might work on those things, and there might be one little area that you're not aware of that could be making a huge difference to how you hit driver. And I'm going to cover it tonight to make sure you hit more drives like we've just seen. So what we're going to talk about is, at impact, how high the handle comes back, because it massively affects where the club face points. So if the club face comes back nice and square and the handle's at a good angle, we can see that the club face would point straight, but the higher the handle comes back, the more to the right the club face would look, and the lower the handle comes back, the more left the club face would look. So that's a huge issue, and the movement I see with a lot of golfers is on the way back, not a lot wrong, but as they move down, as the club goes out, the hips move nearer to the golf ball. So they're cramped for space and they manipulate the club onto the ball. So it makes it incredibly hard to find the center strike, but it also means that the handle is much, much higher. So most golfers swing out to win with an open club face and a high handle. So it's just a recipe for disaster. Now, how's the ball curving? Every shot's got backspin, but there's no such thing as side spin. So what we would see is the golf ball tilts in flight. So if there was no tilt, the ball would fly straight. If it tilted to the right, the curve would be to the right, and if it tilts left, the curve would be to the left, very like an aeroplane. So what we want to get a feel for is, how are we going to stop those hips going nearer the golf ball and the handle getting higher? So early extension, but it gets spoken about a lot with irons, not so much with driver. So what we want to feel is, you're going to make your backswing as normal, but as you start down, we want you to feel that your chest goes down towards the ball and the hips push back away. And then as you turn out the way, you can see the handle's much lower and you've got lots of room to swing your arms into. So it should be much easier that way to get the middle of the club on the ball rather than up here. So let's just demonstrate what we would see a lot of golfers do. So on TrackMan, you can see those kind of numbers. So like we said, we see pretty good at address. There we go, shaping out to the right. And we're looking at that dynamic lie angle of 53.6 degrees. Now the strike was out the toe, and it's not a horrendous slice, but it's definitely something that's going to be hard to get in play. So as that handle's come back higher, it's because I've moved nearer the golf ball, and as I raise the handle, the club's coming closer to me, so it's incredibly hard to get that center of the club face on the golf ball. So like I said, possibly something you've never really worked on, and I don't have a problem with that. Because a lot of golfers, when they come and see me, say, I've tried everything and I can't find what works. The danger is you probably have tried lots and lots of things, not everything, but the important thing is you haven't tried the right thing. So like I said, we're going to feel back as normal. As we start down, hips go back, chest goes down, and then we can swing through. So we're looking to try and get that dynamic lie angle less than 53.6. So we do a couple of practice swings. And for me, when I do that, my hands feel much lower through the ball, and definitely feels my body gets into a better position to impact, more rotated out the way. So we're going to take dead aim. Potentially, if I do this too much, I might actually miss a little left. And we can see the spin axis on trackman on that last shot was plus 12.3 degrees. So that's tilting quite a bit towards that right hand side. So we're going to get that feel. Feels very different even for me through impact. So we're going to take aim, get that sensation. Oh, hello, there we go. So out of the middle of the golf club, almost like a Rory McIlroy line ball, just cutting a little bit when the wind's not on there. So still a little bit of tilt, but 6.6 degrees now. The centeredness of strike helps massively because then we get a real true reflection on what's been happening during our golf swing. But we could see they're incredibly neutral numbers, like the path just slightly less than a degree out to in, and the club face reading just fractionally open. But straight down the fairway, felt dead easy. And honestly, when I work on this with clients when they come and see me, it's definitely not something golfers have been aware of. They see on the golf videos that they do of themselves that the hips are moving closer, but they don't appreciate really what that's causing and why it makes it so difficult with driver. Like I said, if you're trying to create control with path, face, strike, you know, it's so difficult if the body's moving around a lot to get all those bits right every time. So that one, exceptionally good. 50-degree lie angle there. So let's see if I can get even lower handle through impact. So again, we're going to take dead aim. Now that one definitely curving a little bit right to left. 51 degrees, but again, out the middle of the golf club. Some really good numbers there, but we can see the spin axis very different, minus 17.1. Now, even though I didn't actually get the handle really low on that one, that felt very exaggerated for me. So I don't mind that. If you're somebody who slices that golf ball, more of that you can feel, the better the shots are going to be, the straighter. Can't necessarily promise the draw, but should be starting to hit more fairways. So again, chest down, hips back, handle low through impact, take dead aim, just out the toe a little bit, so turning over, would run into the semi-rough. But again, don't dislike that, and if you're somebody who slices the ball, you will love seeing that shape. Now, definitely for me, I think that's something that as I've been trying to generate a little bit more speed in my golf swing, I push into the ground, and sometimes that handle does get a bit high, and I don't mind seeing the fade, I just don't want it to shape too much. So let's set up again, let's finish on a nice straight one. Don't dislike that, there's a little bit of breeze off the left. Let's let trackman normalize that shot. So a little cut, but look at those numbers. Face to path, incredibly close to zero. If I'm going to hit that shot, I've just got to aim left center, and that's in play all day long. That little bit of spin axis, 12 degrees. Quite a lot for such small numbers, but dynamic lie much better. And like I said, if you can feel, when you video yourself, if you're somebody who's this way through impact, if you can feel chest down, hips back, you're going to deliver that club much better. I'm not promising the club face is going to look left, but it will actually look more left than normal, and guarantee that's going to help you hit it out the middle, hit better shots, hit the ball further, and hit more fairways.